Most people look at a camera lens and expect a bit of heft, something that feels like a serious piece of glass. But then you pick up this little pancake lens, and it honestly feels like you're holding a lens cap that just happens to take photos. It is shockingly thin. You could slide this onto a micro 4/3 body, and suddenly that camera fits into a jacket pocket, which is exactly the kind of freedom that makes you actually want to carry your gear everywhere. That 14 focal length gives you a 28 equivalent view, which is that classic wide-angle perspective. It is wide enough to capture a street scene or a group of friends at a dinner table without feeling like you are standing in the next room, but it stays natural enough that you don't get that weird, distorted look you sometimes see with ultra-wide glass. Now here is the thing about the aperture. At f2.5, it is not exactly a low-light monster, but it is bright enough to handle most daytime shooting and even some moody evening stuff if you are careful. The real magic is in the optics. With 3 aspherical elements tucked inside that tiny frame, the sharpness is genuinely impressive. You get crisp images that hold up well even when you are pixel peeping. The multi-coating does a decent job of keeping flare in check, too, which is a relief when you are shooting toward a bright window or a street lamp. What stands out, though, is the speed of the focus. It snaps onto subjects with a quiet, snappy confidence that makes it feel like a modern piece of tech, rather than some vintage manual relic. There's a bit of a trade-off, though. Because it is so small, there is no room for a physical focus ring that feels substantial, and you definitely won't find any image stabilization built into the barrel. You are relying entirely on your camera body to keep things steady. If you're shooting handheld in really dim light, you might notice that limitation pretty quickly. Also, because it is so compact, it can feel a little fiddly if you have larger hands, especially when you are trying to mount it or swap it out in a hurry. It is a bit of a balancing act. You are trading that heavy-duty, professional feel for pure, unadulterated portability. But look, for anyone who wants to turn their mirrorless camera into a true everyday carry, this thing is a bit of a secret weapon. It is not trying to be the sharpest, most expensive piece of glass in the bag, but it is almost certainly the one that will stay on the camera the most. It is just one of those pieces of gear that gets out of the way and lets you focus on the shot. If you value keeping your kit light and simple, this is probably the best way to do it without sacrificing the quality that makes a dedicated camera worth using in the first place. It is a simple, honest lens that does exactly what it promises, and sometimes that is all you really need.
Check out the video description for updated price. And thank you for watching this video.